Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the October 10th meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners. Would you call the meeting to order and have a roll call?
Malcolm White, present.
Donna Bronk, present.
Peter Dunlop, present.
And Jim Gibberti present. We have meeting minutes from August 22nd.
Oh, I read those online.
Oh, is that what that single
Yeah.
sheet is?
I read those online. I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second those.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0-0.
No, Jimmy, I wasn't here.
Okay, let's see, so it's 3-0-1, one abstention, 3-0-1. Okay, now we have minutes from September 12th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gee, that's
Aye.
3-0-1 again, different one. And sewer business, we have contracts, one from OSD LLC. This is an addendum for engineering services, vehicle sludge roofs.
Yeah, these aren't complicated, but they're actually two attempts at doing a roof in one, so I can explain it. I'm going to try to explain it. It took me a while to get it, but once you really go through it, you understand it. Originally, we contracted, or we put out a bid for the roof, and one contract was for the sludge dewatering was $16,000, it was $12,000 for the other three. And that's the original contract that you got last time we met.
28,000.
So what happened was the lowest bidder was unqualified. He wanted to do the job, but he didn't have what it took to do the job through the vetting of the process. So it took us a while, it took us a long time because of legal issues and back and forth with lawyers to exclude him. Once we did that, we had to go out again for more bids. So the work that was done, you can see some of the invoices on both of these had been paid as we're going along, but after we couldn't move forward with the particular contractor, the contract expired. And there's a letter in here from the engineer, actually from Bailey Ellis to the engineer, saying that we got to move forward, we got to extend the contract, and then give me an addendum of what the new costs are going to be, and that's where we are. So we have to finish up the old contracts, we have to extend it, and then we have the new addendums for $8,000 for the same thing, instead of the 32 original, to finish everything up. So what we're seeking is the extension of the original contract, and then include the original contract, the addendum to the original contract. And so it's all here, and so I'll give you a chance to read it, and if you have any questions. I just got this clarification today, so I apologize. You didn't get it earlier to study it. I just got it today. So I tried to clean it up so it'd be a little more understanding for everybody. That's where we are with that.
Jim, may I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, Donna.
What are you looking to get, the $8,000 one first?
So what's happening is, if you look at both these contracts on the front pages with the breakdown, he submitted $2,601.76. He submitted to $2,230.08 in the contract for the dewatering building. If you look at the contract for the storage and the septic blower building, the two of those, he submitted in the bill number 1381 and 1422. He submitted $2694.68 and $2137.16, and they could not be paid because the contract had expired. By the time we figured out where we were, the contract was expired. On the original contract, that was for, I misquoted, it's for 16 and 12 is 28.9, the original contract. So those bottom two on each of them, we couldn't pay because the contract expired. So I'd like to move the contract forward and then pay those amounts. I'd like to do. And then now we're almost done with the roof. And so the addendum says it's $8,000 per roof to get the new contract, the new bidding process out, and to oversee the new construction. That's what the new contract was. I think it was Titan won it. And last time, Cape Cod Builders won it. So for Titan, we're doing the roof, and so he would like the 8,000, and I gotta say, it probably won't be quite that much, because we're almost done with the roof. Titan's just blowing through it, but the original estimates were 8,000 and 8,000. So we have same roof, 2 projects is how it ended up, which is, as far as engineering costs, that's how it ended up. It was kind of crazy. It was weird. It was, and we could have moved forward with the other guy, Cape Cod Builders. We could have moved forward, but he was incapable of doing the job.
Are we talking a total of 34,000 now?
We're talking, absolutely, because we have to pay the original contract, because it was done right to the end, other than the building. And there was a couple, so I think if we add these numbers up, 18 and 18, I didn't add them up. It actually looks like, let me make sure I'm right. Yeah. What's here in the front is for the old contract, because that contract went over a little because it got horrendous. There was a lot of, at the end of it, a lot of legal.
That's the
Inspector General.
That's the 18,242.
Yes.
That's the original.
18,242, and the other one is
Now you're-
15,476. So we owe those, bottom line two, we owe those 2 invoices.
Yeah, but the two invoices are a total of $4,800.
Yes, 48 on this side, and then on this side, it's 48. They're both 48. And change, I mean, I'm rounding. So that's outstanding. Those 2 are outstanding.
Wait a minute now.
You know what I mean? Those 2 are outstanding from the original contract. So we haven't got the addendum yet.
Wait a second. Okay, what I have here is a memorandum. Now, am I wrong?
That's the back end of it.
The memorandum shows me the invoice totals for 1380 and 1421 are submitted, haven't been paid. Total amount is 48, 31, 30, yeah,
Okay.
4831. Now, I have another one that says exactly the same thing.
It shouldn't be, you
To
do,
the penny, and it's for the same,
oh, then you got the wrong
Invoice.
ones. Let me show
I
you.
don't have a second invoice. I got an
You should have
invoice.
two invoices. I hope she didn't do that. Okay, so here's what they look like. That's why I can see the confusion. So you've got 2 original, these are the buildings for the original. One was for 12,300 for the buildings, the roof, that on the garage, the septic blower buildings. All right, so that's that one. I believe she gave you 2 of these.
I got 2 of these
Yeah,
right here.
you won one. Did you get
Yeah.
2 of those too?
Yeah.
No, I'm okay.
You're okay, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I got
Are you the same, are you good?
2 of the same.
OSD, I got these 2, this one and this one.
So this one's for 18,
No, this is for 8,000.
Okay, these are addendums in the back, we haven't got to the addendums yet.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about, so these, take these, I think these were submitted, put these aside.
Okay,
We're talking about these. This one here, you should have 2 of these.
okay.
So one is for 1233, and one is, yeah, here it is there. And this one should be for 16.
16,000.
Okay, so these are 2
Okay.
separate, okay, so that's what you have.
Okay.
Peter,
You
can I
have the
see
same,
the other ones you
same,
got?
yeah, you
'Cause
correct? Okay, so you have the,
Okay, I don't have
16
this one.
and 1213, okay. So these are the 2, these play out the original contract. That's what we're talking about now. Okay.
Okay, see, I don't
And
have
the original,
You don't have this one.
1380, and
So you, Jim, for some reason you're missing,
I'm missing 1381.
she probably didn't need them anyways, I don't know why. I'll have, she did it this evening, so I apologize. You don't have this one.
That's right, I don't have that
So
one.
so you're correct here, and this is the other one, because this is just for the sludge building, and this is for the other 3. so
This is 4,800,
They're both 48 and change, that's what I get for both of them.
yeah.
And so what happened is,
Just different.
because the contract expired, we couldn't pay those. So they're in limbo. So what we need to do is extend the contract, because it's out of date, the contract expired, the date comes to an end, extend the date, so that's that fish.
Okay, so we're talking in toto here,
16 and 8.
48, 9,600 plus another 16,000.
That's right, 16 for the new, what we're doing now,
So you're talking 25,800.
something, 16 for what we're doing now, right, because 8 and 8 for the contracts.
25,800 is what.
And then the
we're talking
past,
about.
that's right, that's what we're talking about. The past we owe invoices on because of the expiration of the contract.
So the contract, let me just get this straight. Okay, this, they both exceed the original bidding on the contracts.
The original dates, because the contract ended.
No, I'm
Yes.
saying they both exceed the original dollars
They do.
for the contract.
Because the end of the contract, it got kind of hairy. We had to try to get rid of the guy, and so that was a lot of work between Ellis, the engineer, I believe the town attorney got involved. They had to legally tell the guy he couldn't do the job, because he wanted to do it. He said, I'm not stopping, because when he got the job, he said, okay, he bid it, and he bid it too low. And he said, okay, I got to raise it by $9,000 or $10,000. We said, absolutely not, you do it this price. He says, no, I have a right to bid it. And then he said, well, I'm not going to use the same material because I can't do it for that cost, I get cheaper material. So we went in a circle, and we said, wait, then we're done. He says, no, I have to do the job. You can't stop me, I bid it, I won the bid, I'm doing the job. But you can't supply the material, so it was really a go-around. So instead of just saying you can't do the job, we had to vet it, and it took a while to vet it. And so while we're vetting it, the contract expired. They
Okay, so
finally
the
vetted it.
bottom line numbers though,
Yes, the
Guy,
bottom lines are there.
Sorry,
is you're talking 28.9 was the original contract,
Correct.
That's right.
okay? And now we're talking about increasing that contract by almost the same amount.
are you serious?
That's
I
what it
don't
looks
see
like.
that.
You got 4,800 and 4,800, that's 96.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got another 8,000 and 8,000, that's another 16.
So you
That's
talk
$25,000,
$25,000, absolutely. Because you
so
have two
it's almost the
separate,
same amount.
projects. Well, the 18, wait a minute, the 8 and
Still
8,
almost the same amount. We contracted originally for 28,000, 29,000 for round figures.
we did.
Okay, now you're saying that we want to contract, in essence, for 16, 20, for another 25, 26,000.
What I'm saying is that we're,
I understand where you're coming from. You're paying off one.
Paying
and
off,
you're
that-
coming up another. It's still 26,000 no matter how you cut it.
I don't care how you cut it. What I'm saying is that two separate issues. I get what you're saying, but when we did the original, no one anticipated the ending of the original. And that was handled by Ellis and the engineers and the lawyers. I was nothing to do with it. But they kept going, so.
Sorry,
the-
sorry, Guy, could you tell me when was the original contract signed?
29.9.
For the original contract is here,
I know.
12,003, and
No,
one was for
when-
16.
When?
23.
I want to look at my
They
notes.
called it
Oh,
24.
I don't know, let me see, because it
Yeah,
ended
in
in
a way,
May,
5,000.
June, so I would suggest to
paid.
you,
These
it probably
have
was
been
signed, I can't tell you, because
paid.
I want to say in the early fall or around September.
That's part of the $215,000 you got from town meeting?
No, the 215 was just for the construction, this is engineering.
I'm doing rough figures there. 18, 16, 6,
It's two separate costs. When you originally said the roof, I said, no,
No, wait a minute.
this is engineering.
All right,
So it's
because
kind of,
we're only talking about these envelopes.
This is how much I'm going from this figure to what
Oh, I get it.
That's
I've got a credit.
the difference between this one
I'm
and this one.
doing total
is
costs.
60.
I have to credit the invoices that weren't
he's
paid.
already paid, so you got a credit, you kind of add those in, they're done, they don't exist.
I know.
So if you add those, you double dip.
That's why it wasn't adding up.
This is a
Yeah.
running total.
Right,
There's your total.
yeah.
So you take that one from the other, you get 16. You take 12.3 from this one, you get 31, 32 roughly. So you got, all right, 48. Okay, so 48 plus 8 and 8, 16, 20, yeah, so like 21,000 is what our additional is that we owe altogether, with the 2 8s.
Who's going to guarantee this roof?
The roof is guaranteed by the contractor and the manufacturer. Manufacturer has a 25-year warranty on the roof material, and the contractor has a 3-year warranty on workmanship.
The contractor that wasn't supposed to be doing the job.
No, that guy we fired, he's done. We hired a new contractor, Titan they're out of Springfield, really good contractors out of Springfield.
So who did the work?
Titan, who's the new contractor. The old contractor, we never let touch it. This is just engineering
Okay, all
costs,
right.
so we
That-
never let him
that's-
touch it. That was the
That's what I
fight.
wanted to hear.
Yeah, that was the fight, that was the battle, because he wanted to do it, and he couldn't do it. He just couldn't afford to do it.
I am totally confused. So the guy we contracted from did no work and we paid him nothing?
That's right. We didn't pay anything for the roof, but we still had to pay engineering, because it wasn't the engineer's fault that,
But the engineering was not the guy physically pounding the nails?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're doing new engineering.
yes, we
I'm
just, we had to do it all over again for another contract with the new roof for Titan.
Wouldn't have made any difference which contractor he is.
Yes, so that's where this is where this all is, this is what this is about. It's costs, I gotta catch up and then move forward. Yes. And the roof is, we're just doing the trim now. The roof is done, just other than the trim. And we should have it wrapped up, but it rained, so we'll probably start it again Monday, just finish the trim.
Variables,
A little over 20,000.
Yes, for the total.
Yeah.
another 16.
That's what I come up with.
Yes, that's the correct
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, 20,820. 72. So, okay, doesn't make it any better, but at least it's gets the numbers lower than what we thought it was, but not much. Okay. Okay, the first. Oh, wait a minute, you got more than one thing here, then. It's engineering consultants, you don't have that down for anything as a. Oh, sorry. With the vehicle sludge roof, what the hell was that? Is that the one guy here that's storage garage and septic blower buildings?
Yes, there's two buildings on the septic receiving, the blower buildings, there's two buildings.
Yeah.
And then the garage is a building, so there's three buildings on one contract and one building on the other.
Okay, now, you need a motion to pay those two by itself.
We need, I believe.
correct?
I believe we need a motion to pay those two.
And then we go into the contracts.
And then a motion to, for the addendum for the 8 and 8, yes, that's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion, you tell me, but that's, because we got, it's two
Sorry.
separate issues.
Mr. Chair, if the contract has expired, right?
Contract date, yes, we'll be on the contract date.
Don't we need a new contract?
No, we have a contract in place, and so according to you can read the memo from Ellis, and so he's extended the contract, and then we're going to do a new
I'm
contract.
just trying to think what accounting would be looking for if we extend the
That's what they look for,
contract.
it's here, that's what they asked him to do. Extend the contract, so I'm just trying to follow this, we're just trying to follow this. I have no idea. And the new addendum is the extension of the contract for the roof, same roof, but just different contractors. That's,
Okay. All right, can I get a motion for approval of payment for the shortfall,
Shortfall?
or what do we want to call
Shortfall? How about overage?
it, overage?
yeah, overage and contract date is.
Yeah, it's an overage. I know
For
how it
extension
goes.
of contract, is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, but, yeah, I guess that's it. That's probably the best way to handle it.
Why did it go so far over?
The cost that, trying to get rid of the guy, he wouldn't go. He was taking us to court, he threatened to take us to court if we told him to go.
So did we pay him something?
Paid him nothing. Paid him nothing. Yeah, Cape Cod Builders. I think it was Cape Cod Builders was the name of the company.
So the person that actually did the job, where did they come in the list of,
They didn't, we did another whole bid process, and they won the
and
bid
then he
process.
came in as the lowest?
Yes.
And how much higher was he originally than the first contractor?
Didn't bid the first time, but the first contract, so Pete got 215, and everybody was around that number. The guy that we didn't get was at 125 or 145. And so when he won the bid, and he said, well, I can't do it for 145. We said, well, you have to, you bid it. Well, you know, I can't get the material, and so he had a lot of reasons why.
Shouldn't there have been a hint that he was so far off everybody else?
It happens all the time, because it's the bid process and it's the lowest bidder. The
And we have
discrepancies
no
are-
choice but to take the lowest bidder.
Right. In the private world, what you would do is you throw out the low, throw out the high, and in the middle, use the one that are closer. Because you have that low bid just to get the job, and you get that high that, I don't care if I get it. And so this was the case. This guy was really low, and by law, we have to take him, and then you vet it. And so we gave him the letter to proceed. All right, buddy, let's get going. And he says, well, first he said, well, I need a change order immediately for $8,000. That was the first thing. I said, well, no, what do you mean? I can't do it for that price. But you bid it. Yeah, but I can't do it for that price. And the games began. And so it was a whole process of letters denying this, denying that. We talked to Mr. Bowen, how do we have to do this? Because now we're going to say, forget it.
Where do we find out what the person that actually did the work
Titan Roofing.
was?
So he should.
$215,000, Titan Roofing.
The first guy should have just withdrawn his bid.
He should have
He has the right to do that.
So that's the complication, because once he said he couldn't do it for that price, we said, well, then you can't do the job. And he said, I have a right to change orders. And he threw all these legal terms, and he's been bidding forever, he said, I know my rights. And then a lady representing his company called and said, well, he has a right to do the job. And he says, well, he can't do it for the price that he said he could do it for. I said, well, that doesn't matter. He can still do the job, and there's some overruns, and there's some, change orders you gotta get, but he has the right to do the job. And he was gonna get, by change orders, to the price of the highest bidder at that point. So we just said, no, we're not doing it. At that point, there was no relationship, and there's no way we're gonna let him do it.
No.
Did we see a contract for the new guy?
Yeah, you approved it, absolutely. Titan Roofing, you guys approved the Titan Roofing contract, absolutely.
They've been
That was a while, yeah, absolutely, that was a while ago.
They've been around forever.
Titan?
Yeah.
Titan is huge and an incredible company. I was surprised. They got branches all over the place. They're really a thorough, I mean, they're just
Right.
efficient. They were,
I will second the motion.
215 was
I
the
will
contract.
make the motion.
I was gonna say.
I will make the motion.
What was the contract to actually do the job?
215,000.
From Cape Cod Roofing?
No, they were
No.
146.
Is that what you're asking? The original one?
No,
Oh,
the work that was done.
215,000.
How much was the contract for?
215,000.
What do these numbers represent then?
The engineering costs, nothing to do with the roof,
It's just engineering.
just engineering.
So you need a motion to approve the two addendums?
no, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet.
We have the motion is to, motion to extend the contract because of a time frame.
I thought we didn't have to do that, we do?
I thought we could wrap it in one, but I think
thought-
however we do it,
thought
we do it.
just
Sure.
have to approve the addendum to the contract, no?
Well, we've got, the addendum
You
is,
have to vote to extend it?
To pay the bills that were back in.
Okay.
The-
So
yeah,
that's
we
what
Labor
have,
bills.
we're
we
doing
have
now.
to do that, Mac, because these are ones that are past due,
I got you.
and the others are upcoming.
That's correct. So however you do it, yes, you're right.
Sandy, you started off there.
I didn't. There's a motion to extend the contract because of the time period.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3,
Put me down as our high too.
okay, 4, you're, what are you, Peter?
What is the vote?
Sure.
Okay,
We'll extend the contract, but,
What is the vote?
500.
Thank you.
so these were the engineering costs because of this mistake?
The extra cost, yes, because we had to drag it on trying to get rid of the guy. So if we had accepted the guy, the engineering cost would have been a little lower, the original contract cost for the engineering, but it didn't happen, it didn't work that way.
Okay, and now we have 2 addendums.
Right.
One for the vehicle sludge roofs.
That's correct.
For the septic blower buildings and vehicle storage garage, $8,000.
Each?
Yes. Yes, 8,000 each. 8,000 for the 3 and 8,000 for the sludge dewatering.
And the other is for the sludge dewatering building.
And these contracts for the 8 and 8 include asbestos. The first one, we didn't do asbestos, and these buildings were loaded with asbestos, so they may have gotten nailed anyways. But yeah, so these include the asbestos engineering and the testing and all that.
Okay, now, do we need to vote on each one of these individually? Probably.
They probably make, I don't know.
Since there's two
probably.
separate contracts, even though it's tied dovetails together, but. Could I get a motion on the vehicle sludge roofs addendum for $8,000?
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the addendum for engineering services to the vehicle sludge roofs.
A second? Donna? All in favor?
Aye.
500.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
And now, contract for the sludge dewatering roofs.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the addendum for engineering services for the sludge dewatering roofs.
$8,000. Have a second?
Second.
Donna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
500. Okay, we muddled through that.
That's crazy. These are crazy.
And, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry I'm late. I had another meeting that ran a little longer than expected,
No problem,
but
no problem.
second Thursday, I'm already
Tough to be
committed.
popular.
Oh,
You know, when you're gonna be late, you need to bring the cookies.
Did you bring cookies? Is that what you said?
no, I says if I'm gonna be
You're
late, I was
late.
supposed to bring cookies. And did I miss anything when you started the meeting?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Pre-treatment coordinator status.
Working in the lab until our lab technician comes back from FMLA.
Okay. Still in progress. And now, may I welcome to center stage
So let me-
our sewer superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but let me go back to pretreatment. You know the things we put out there, the car wash that had no pretreatment?
Right?
They finally got their design. I talked to Bill Madden today. It's designed to add pretreatment, and they will be including pretreatment into the car wash, which was really originally mandated by the DEP. So
Which
The one
car
next to
wash?
Charlie's.
the one by Charlie's place, where is it?
Okay, you mean that's gone right into the sewer without,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's been there for years,
Years.
decades?
And so when we did the original round of pre-treatment, we sent letters out, and so he was one that we caught, we went to him, and we had a battle back and forth, and he hired an engineering firm, so he's done, he's complied. Also in the process, the chocolate factory complied. They now cool their water before they discharge it, so they've complied. The Cape Cod distributors, which is Dunkin' Donuts, they complied. They redid all their internal drains, and they redid their external drains, and they've knocked off quite a bit of grease. And we're working right now with Crouton Factory, because they have no sampling port and they have a lot of oil, so now we gotta separate that, so we're working with them right now to get the sampling. So we are moving forward, especially with grease and different things with pretreatment. So once the pretreatment comes back on board from the lab, then we'll pick it up again and continue. So there's been progress.
Great.
In my report, we met with the selectmen, and Sandy was there, and it was kind of an interesting meeting. But I think, to Sandy's credit, her recommendation is what we ended up with Derek, and they agreed to do. And so the next day, Derek met with the engineer, and here's what they agreed to do. I have it in my phone, I'm just going to paraphrase it. They're going to borrow $2.5 million to do the unlined discharge area, to line it. And originally it was 1.5, I think it was, but they said more money, because if we can enlarge it to 4 million gallons, it would cover us through 2070, or 2050 to 2070. So that's what we're going to go. So it's 3.8 million would give us through 2050. And so they've agreed to that. Then they've also agreed, what they said, they'll take $150,000 for engineering costs and to get the two products, the covered for the basin, covered for the odor, and the sand filters, to the same point with engineering, to have a hard cost. Because the other part had a hard cost, because they did they were working on a grant anyways for that, so they could they had to have hard costs to submit it. So, and then bring it back to Springtown meeting with hard costs and vote on a real number for the sand filters and for
Okay,
the other.
so we asked for a warrant for $10 million in total for the three components. And yesterday, you met with Derek.
I didn't, the engineer and Derek met.
So Russ and Derek, okay. And what,
So they,
okay, wait a minute, I need to take this through my own mind. Part of that is that they would look at the warrant and modify 2.5 million for the construction, of the,
basin,
basin.
one that,
The
unlined basin,
basin, the unlined, of the, to line,
to line the unlined,
the unlined.
yes. Which was your recommendation? If they did nothing.
Since
that
we
was-
already have the engineering done,
Absolutely.
we were very good at what the cost would be, as opposed to being, well, we're not sure. Now, on top of that, were they putting any money aside, appropriate $150,000 to engineer the next two components?
That's right.
Will that be part of our warrant too?
There looks like there's two separate warrants there. I'm gonna.
Well, there can't be two separate warrants.
Okay,
The
so it's-
warrant's closed.
Yes, I mean, in the warrant, the modification. And I gotta tell you, Claire they're doing that now, it's beyond me.
Does
You may wanna
Claire,
follow
does
up with them.
Claire agree that that warrant can be modified at this point?
According to Derek, you may wanna, I'm only going by what I'm told, and
You
this is
know what
coming
I
from Mr. Sullivan.
understand is that it was up to the moderator as to whether or not the warrant would be out of character if it's modified to this point. So we're looking at, 2.65 million?
Yes,
So the 2.5 million for the construction of lining the unlined basin, and 150K for engineering of the next two
correct. And then come back to Springtown meeting with hard numbers and revote. The
Well,
next
we
two
don't need to
components.
borrow $150,000.
We don't, and I don't think we need to borrow the 2.5 either. I'm thinking we should take it out of retained earnings. However,
However they write it, they might very well say funds available, whatever funds available may be borrowed or
It'll
least
depend
it
on
would
how
be up-
legal,
the words that would,
yeah, depends
okay.
on what legal puts in there.
Because Mr. Bowen was involved, so they're all involved, so I'm trusting that they're doing this
Yeah.
with the moderator's blessing, because I really don't know.
Because this is a big change for what we submitted.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
It's only $7.5 million change.
yes. Because we had originally estimated between 6 and 7 million, but there was contingency, we had no idea. And when some of that's boring or whatever, so they inflated it, and so the town felt that it's better to do more engineering and get harder costs, so that can come back down to a lower number.
We can't add another, he said, talked about 2 articles. We can't add another article. That warrant is closed.
We're gonna add one, we're just gonna.
They're
Yes,
just gonna
it's-
modify it,
Adjust-
so maybe they're gonna put
modify
it
the
together.
existing,
This is
that's
his
all.
recommendation to
They're
Derek.
gonna
and Derek
modify
went,
it.
so-
Dropping it.
Yeah.
What I would
I'm
suggest.
sorry, but what I'm hearing from Russ says 2 articles, but we can't.
And that's,
Okay.
He'll be told.
that's what I'm saying. So
Right,
what I would
so-
check,
I'm not gonna worry about that, that's.
Mr. Chairman, what I would suggest is that Sandy follow up with Derek or whoever and make sure, and then, because there's a motion has to be written too. And I was writing the motion, because motions have to be in Tuesday. Is it
Motions
go-
had to be motions had to be in a month ago.
Tuesday is drop dead because she's shipping everything out to
Oh,
Ohio.
for Claire, yes.
'Cause it
So,
has-
okay.
It has to be,
Unfortunately,
Legal will write that anyhow, won't he?
yeah, because Monday's a holiday.
yes.
Legal's gonna
Town,
write
there's
that.
nobody around, so this would
Yeah.
perplex me a little bit.
I promised Derek I wouldn't bother him for the next 4 days. I guess I just broke my
You have to
promise.
break your promise.
I'll give you a blessing to allow you to do that.
I'm just thinking, because I think we need to be assured, I mean, that's what they agreed to, so. Or we can just leave, I mean, 'cause, and again, it's on the floor, it could be just left alone too, so maybe we can
Yeah,
modify
but
it,
if,
so I don't know.
if we, yeah, it would have to be modified on the floor, but the question has to be asked of the moderator, would she accept the modification if it is within the scope she thinks?
Yeah, we'll just, let's,
I don't
Going
know.
down, not up. She'll accept it.
if it goes down, she'll accept it. She'll always accept a decrease.
It's the scope of,
complicated.
it's the scope of the article that's in question, but
I
okay.
know she was adamant about getting it in Tuesday, so I'm thinking she would modify it, because she did say, you gotta get it in Tuesday, that's all I know. And the power-
We'll be there, don't worry.
then she's gotta get the motion, that's all.
Okay.
That's where we are with it.
Okay, so that's in their hands, and we'll find out Tuesday.
Yes, so that was
Okay.
discussion. We're replacing pumps and VFDs like crazy, so it's that time. The plant pumps and VFDs are failing regularly. We went into this nor'easter without any EQ pumps. They both are down, and we need VFDs for both of them. And without the EQ pumps, I can't pump up the basins. So I set up a 6-inch and a 4-inch trash pump just to keep up.
I got a sump pump you can use.
We got pumps running. We have a 6-inch trash pump, and we have a 4-inch trash pump pumping. That's what we're doing. Today, they replaced the VFD, so we got one limping. And then tomorrow, the other VFD is supposed to be in, and replace that, so then we'll have 2 limping. And then we gotta modify the pumps, and that will be full force. We're hoping by the end of the weekend, we're full force again. But in the interim, we've got 6 and a 4-inch pump pumped up. And the reason why I mention it is that you'll see some bills coming up. The IR pumps are $30,000 a piece. I've ordered one. I've ordered, of course, we know that the pumps are coming in for the RASs. That's $48,000. And I got a couple other pumps I gotta buy, and they're averaging $16,000 a piece. So that we just gotta get them, and I have no choice
So you're about 110,000 in pumps.
so far, and just pumps, and that's for the plant because of the antiquation and the VFDs. I never factored VFDs, but when they went through the VFDs, they said we have 6 more that are VF 9000s, they need to be replaced too, which is antiquated. And then our polymer system cannot be modified because it's antiquated, we can't get any parts for it. So what happens is, this plant was designed in 1999, so all the components were from 1999. Everything came off the shelves in 1999. When the plant was actually built, a lot of these things were antiquated. But once you get approved from DEP, you can't change the antiquated parts, so they're in the plant. And we run them, and we are running them, but they're starting to fail. And when I go to buy replacement parts, I can't get them. I just can't get them, so we gotta look at replacing things, and that's just the way it is, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Same thing with our valves, our air valves for our aeration tanks, they were antiquated, and when I went to replace one, couldn't get it. I had to buy a new model, new style, retrofit it and put it in, so that's what's happening quite a bit. Same with the pumps, the Smith pump station, they failed, we bought 2 pumps, I think there were 16 apiece. They can't fit, snap in, snap out, we gotta modify the plumbing to put the pumps in, because they're not only antiquated, they don't make them anymore. Company just doesn't exist. So I had to give original specs, that's why we build it as close as they can. So that's where we are with that. So those are the things we're going through now. It's just age. There's nothing I can do about it, nothing anybody can do about it. It's just, everything's aging out, and especially electrical components. The headwork's the same thing. The grit classifier's not working anymore. We've got to keep it limping manually. So that's something we're going to have to look at replacing too. So I'll update the capital as we go along, but it's just hitting us. And again, I've been using the 2005 date, but everything was ordered in 1999. So it's 6 years before that, and that's when it was approved and ordered, so that's where we are with that. The update C Street, I had it on my notes for superintendent's report. We were there yesterday, and we did the borings. And I gotta say, the borings were perfect. Went down 22 feet, and the soils are incredible. So why it sunk, we don't know. But we do know they replace it, that we got good soils. We think what happened is when they put it in, they put no base under the manhole, just put the manhole. There was no supporting, no base, no stone, no nothing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna build the bottom pad with concrete and extend it out, so she'll have more of a base so she cannot sink. We believe that's what the case was. Immediately after, it started sinking immediately. That's our, but we don't really know. So that's where we're at that. So now we're getting the design ready and get it out to bid ASAP. As you all know, the $600,000 no longer exists. It was in 2019 budget, went back into the retained earnings. I gotta take all this out of budget and then go back to town meeting in the spring and replenish all this money, because it doesn't exist. The way they wrote it up, Ellis wrote it up, the money went away at the end of the 2019 fiscal year. So that there's no way to pay for it, but I have to pay for it, so we'll pay for it out of the budget and go back in the spring and replenish the budget.
Well,
That's
wait a
all.
minute, the 600,000
Yes, doesn't exist.
was, they said from the FY19 budget,
It no longer exists.
even though he did it in spring, which was FY20.
No, FY19, FY20 started in July.
I know, but it was spring town meeting,
But that was.
which is what you
fiscal
do for
19.
FY20. So because of the way this was written,
Absolutely, fiscal.
now the warrant's closed, so how are you going to get the 600,000?
Not, I'm gonna break my budget and then
He
go
just
back in the
said, he's not gonna
spring.
get it. He's gonna,
I gotta
I have to go get it in
break the
spring.
budget. But pay for it out of one line item that doesn't have the money in it, pay for it, and then be in deficit, and then in the spring, transfer the money into it.
Yeah.
From the six,
Special spring.
yes, the special spring, I gotta transfer it,
Be careful, make sure it's special spring.
so I can do it in the years to budget, so I gotta transfer it because I have to pay for it. I can't stop doing, we can't stop. We just have to continue on.
Yep.
And I've explained this to the.
So it's just
town
gonna, it's
administrator.
just gonna come out of operating budget now, and then you'll get it back later, that's
And
all.
later, we'll put it back in the
Okay.
spring. That's the only way we can do it. We have to do it.
Flip-flop, that's all, just the only thing is, a matter of timing.
There's no other way to do it.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do. And that's pretty much it. We found off of One Kinko, we found some more leakers. I don't know if I have a picture. I thought I'd bring a picture, but this one here is incredible. I don't know.
Can't just pour stop leak down it and take care of it?
I was thinking of grouting it, but it's so big, I don't think I can grout it. The stop leak, I was thinking of sending grout along the side of it, but the thing is so wide. What they did is along the beach, there's a house that was abandoned, and they abandoned the lateral, and they literally cut it into the pipe, and there's a nasty job back then. So they sealed around the pipe, coming to 6-inch pipe. Well, the seal is gone, and all around the pipe, that water's just pouring in. So I gotta chase it, which is down, and then.
How far down is it?
Pipe's about 8 feet, water table's 4. So I gotta de-water 4 feet of water, 6
You
feet
gotta
of
hold
water.
your breath and go
A
down.
lot of de-watering. It's on the water, so conservation will wanna get involved, and they're not gonna let me de-water on the beach. So I gotta figure that one out. That's a project.
Where is it?
So if you go down One Kinko and take a left, I believe it's extension of Murphy, that goes right to the beach.
Yep.
It's right there.
Oh, the sewer, I know just where you're talking.
So that's leaking like a sieve. I mean, it's leaking. It's crazy. I'll try to find the picture while we're talking.
What's that,
Okay.
but that's unused out there, isn't it?
Yeah, what happened is there used to be a house on the point, it washed away.
Right.
But it's still lateral there. And
So
so
it's the end of the lateral that's leaking?
where it busts into the pipe, that's where it's leaking. Yes, it is.
You couldn't come back into the last manhole and put a stop in there?
No, there's no way. I'll show you why. We've looked at it. I've had a couple people look at it, how we can do it. We thought of putting a machine in there and grinding down the pipe, and I'll show you a picture to make more sense.
Like the gas company does, put a balloon in there.
Well, we can, but there's no way to put a balloon because it comes into the pipe, and the balloon, I could balloon the pipe, but then I gotta worry about taking off actually, we could do that I'll show you. It makes more sense if I show you because it was a bad job. The pipe sticks into the pipe
Why is
by
that
about
so
5
bad?
inches. All right, by 5 inches. They put it into the pipe. They should never put the pipe inside the pipe 5 inches because nothing you can do. Short of digging it up or trying to get in there and grind it down and then put a patch on it. So we could patch it and be done with it, block it, but I gotta grind it all down. And I don't know if I can get a piece of equipment to do that. So it's kinda crazy.
Drill down, drill into it, and fill it with epoxy.
We thought about grouting it. But it's such a big, I had the picture, I showed it the other meeting. It's such a, so, this is the leak. This is the pipe coming into the pipe. This is the main pipe, this is the lateral pipe.
Picture this exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what this is. But
So there's the water coming in.
you know where it is. It's right down where, what's his name? Bruce? Nazi.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my goodness.
Guy, when you get back to the desk and on the mic, can you give us the status of the lagoons with all this rainwater?
So we gotta grind this away to get in.
Now, isn't that right down where Nazi's gonna be doing this project?
Nazi's here, this is over there.
Yeah, this is close, this is the one out on the beach.
Yeah, this one. Jesus Christ. You remember you go to the beach, there's a manhole?
Couldn't we make him have to?
Okay.
As of this morning, we had 0.4 inches of rain, not much rain at all. So the back basin is half full, and the front basin's probably, I'm gonna say maybe a quarter full. So that's where I am right now in the basins.
And how many more days of rain we got?
Well, I don't know, that's another story.
A week.
We're gonna have a lot of rain. We got a lot of rain coming. So that's why when I gotta tell you, when EQ pumps went down, I was freaking. I was like, okay, here we go. So we just put all kinds of hose out and pumps, and we're moving it. So we're keeping up as of this moment. And again, we'll have one completely online tomorrow. We're limping right now, and then we hope to have another one online by the end of the weekend.
Okay.
That's our goal, and
Okay,
we'll keep working at it.
good progress going there. Next, anything?
I'm done. I'm done. So update on C Street, we've done.
Let's go.
Some pumps I've done nothing with, and they're out there and they're getting more and more, but there's nothing I've done. Stone Path, I've done nothing with. Homes Not Connected, we had 2 more connect, so they're slowly dribbling
We
in.
got 6
People are-
now.
Yeah, people are coming and they're asking, and so it's very efficient and effective, so we're getting people. People are coming in out of the woodwork and say, hey, I gotta connect.
Has a new batch of letters gone out?
Let me check on that. I honestly don't know. That's a good question.
Today, I forgot to ask him.
So, sorry, what was the count on this last batch? What do we have now, 6?
6 that I'm aware of. There's a couple of others that I'm not so sure. I gotta look them up.
And the EDU rates are still a work in progress.
Yeah, no, Jim, the guy we met from Ty and Bond, I was quite tempted to ask him what's going on, if he could talk to Mike and get some of it, find some heat, because he seemed to be really an astute kind of guy. He can do some research for us as to what the heck is going on. I was thinking of asking him,
Okay?
because he seems to be really, really smart. He seems to be a good guy. He's got some good, I think he's on top of things. At least to figure out,
Oh,
wouldn't hurt.
no, not at all.
I think a little bit more of a push than that is necessary.
Well, this guy would be able to, he works for the company a little higher up, so at least he can get all the information and find out where we went wrong and where he went wrong, and,
Right.
Well,
know
the
what I mean?
last time he was here, he
No, it's not the same
just
guy.
blubbered.
We're not talking about the same guy.
it's a different guy. It's a different,
Talk about
it's his,
different guy
one of his
altogether.
bosses. He's up there. He's really a,
I'm still all in favor of a lawsuit because they haven't filed any report. Tell them that.
okay.
New business, had some conversations with Jimmy Potter, who's chairman of the Board of Selectmen in Bourne, and he'd like to have a meeting with us, Bourne Community Center, either 16th of October or the 4th of November. What is your,
He wants all of us?
oh, you'd like to have, his board would like to meet us.
At their site.
Formally or informally?
It'll be a posted meeting
Okay.
to get, at least, get some basis going to begin a discussion,
When's the 16th?
to begin a discussion on the IMA.
I think it's a setup. The community center's a basketball court. It's gonna be 5-on-5. I don't think that's right for a basketball game. I think that's what's going on.
That's okay, we're gonna win.
Well,
Sandy's the center.
oh,
The 16th is a Wednesday,
And that, we have a normal,
and
I have a Conservation Commission meeting that night.
November 4th is a Monday.
I can't make October 16, but I can make, I have October 4th is available, November 4th is available.
Mac,
Fine.
It's fine with
by
me.
which?
4th,
4th.
4th is fine with me.
basing it on what Sandy has.
Okay, I will contact him and set that up.
did you read that report today in the paper about the bridge?
Which one, the 2
About the-
bridges?
Yeah, and how it's going to affect Bourne?
I did not read the report. I know they're talking about
Well,
bridges.
some of the engineering report that, according to the newspaper, so that's not as reliable as it should be, but they're going to lose some of the area that they were talking about using for their drainage.
Yeah, that's gonna be,
No way.
Yeah.
they're gonna run,
So they're moving the bridge this way? That's because they leave the other bridges up.
Well, I guess they're gonna move it in, they're gonna take part of the scenic trailer park. But that goes kind of on both sides.
it's all Bourne. So they're gonna have to lose a lot of,
Bourne was it's going to affect
Taxable property.
Bourne's sewer problems.
Yeah, wow.
and it,
Now, that's just, the newspaper, so
that's gonna be a fight.
might even,
That's preliminary.
That discussion has been going on for the last 40 years now that I'm aware of.
Well, now the
on where
Corps
they're
is
gonna
saying,
take the land from, and who's gonna give up the land that's taxable property.
Well,
For
I
this.
guess the Corps of Engineers owns the trailer park.
you do?
Yeah, that,
I
I
don't know.
thought that was owned by the town of Bourne.
no, I think they get to run it, but from what I understand,
I didn't know that. I actually thought the town of Bourne owned the Bourne Scenic Park. I did. I thought I thought Bourne owned it. I know they I know that they run it, they employ the people there. I thought they owned it. That's different, yeah.
maybe it was in the
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, if I may, on meeting with the only thing I'm concerned about is I&I, because they supply a lot of I&I too, and so we're overwhelmed, so.
At this point, the only thing I'm concerned about is meeting them face to face so they know who we are and we know who they are.
Okay.
We haven't had this happen since I've been on this board.
Well,
They've always been a figment over here, and we've been a figment over here. So let's find out who we're talking to and talking about. At least at this particular point, we have one person on their board that's familiar with the way things work here.
Good, good.
So let's,
Step in the right direction. It's
I mean, I just
encouraging.
want to get it off square one, instead of
Encouraging.
always saying we need to talk about IMA and we don't do a damn thing because nobody can get together with anybody else. So let's get together with them, let's see where we're going, and, you know,
Okay, that's good.
step
That's
two will be after we meet with them.
Step in the right
So
direction.
there's really no agenda for this first meeting?
Yeah, there will be, but I can't tell you exactly what it's gonna be at the moment, Mac. I'll talk to Jimmy and see where they
Well,
wanna go.
I'm just wondering if we have to prepare anything,
Uh,
or it's not to that point.
I will,
Yeah, I don't want to walk in
I
there
will get
saying,
information,
I don't want to be negative, but let's do something to initiate.
I will, you know, I will get further information and let everybody know.
Yeah.
because they have outstanding invoices with us,
I'm not
correct?
worried
And I
about
don't
that.
want that on there.
I'm not into that, that's not gonna be on the agenda.
Thank you, I just wanted, I didn't want that
Not
to
gonna
be
on
part of the
agenda.
topic.
This is not that kind of a meeting.
Thank you, I just didn't want it covered. Okay.
That's good.
Town meeting warrant,
Guess it's going to be
it's
changed.
gonna be changed, so
Yeah, that they're gonna change it.
I'll work on it this weekend and get a copy to you, Jimmy, and to Derek, and to
Claire?
and Pigeon from FinCom and Claire. I have a copy of what has been submitted by the bond people, and I'll just use that word now.
8:20.
Can we do the minutes? Or did we do that already?
You did it already.
All right.
Even with the spelling errors.
You did.
Can I at least get an idea?
21.
I asked if anything was done before I came, and the answer was no, so the minutes were done.
10 minutes, we're done.
Okay, I would like to have two things added to this current minutes. One, the minutes of September 12th showed that we have a ZZM grant of $215,000. That was what was mentioned in the meeting, but our grant from ZZM was only $115,000?
That was 150-something.
151, but not, I want it clear in a set of meetings that what was presented in September 12th was the wrong dollar amount. Correct? Or I'm the only one that noticed that. Anybody else pick up on
No,
that?
I didn't. I'm looking for it.
Number 4, third page.
No, I'm trying to find the grant agreement. I thought it was 115,000 for the engineering of the,
I think it was 215,000, but that's including our portion and the portion of the CZM, which is 156, and we put in the balance, so I think that's what it was.
Wait, it's
that sounds about right.
215,000?
I think, because that's the total, but there's a split. They own 156, we own the balance, something like
it
that.
just says the ZZM grant was awarded for the basis in the amount of 215 to help with the flow. That's not the dollar amount that was granted. And I just want the correct dollar amount to reflect someplace in a set of minutes.
What was the correct amount?
I thought it was 215.
215 is,
What's the correct amount?
I'm sorry, 115.
no,
I'm trying to-
156 was the grant, and the balance was our portion of the grant.
Okay, so the grant from ZZM was 156.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know whether or not you have talked about putting in the minutes that we had no meeting on the 22nd.
No.
So I would like to have it posted that there was no meeting on September 26th because the agenda was not posted in time. So if someone comes along,
It's under new business.
yes,
Okay.
if someone comes along and says you meet every 2 weeks, what happened to the 26th? I just wanted in the minutes, the 26th, we had no meeting because the agenda was not posted in time.
I was seeing if because my phone didn't go so far, but I was seeing if I had the actual grant in here, but I can't pull it.
Sandy, couldn't be me. Got all the spelling errors we'll give to you.
Spelling errors? I did spell check.
Well, I don't know what spell, were you using the French version or?
Hey, next time you take the minutes,
I didn't type them.
I had that document. Where did it go?
Yeah, I'll give you mine, Sandy.
No, I'm talking about the CZM
The actual
document.
document.
Oh,
It must be in another folder. It's not in this folder.
I think you're a right guy. If I remember right, that was
151 or
156.
something like that, yeah.
156 was the amount.
156, and we
That
have
we-
it printed 215?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
that-
think-
Well, that was
no.
what the total
We
package
talked,
of the.
no, we talked in the meeting that it was 215, so the minutes are correct,
Yep.
Oh,
but the amount is wrong.
I got you.
okay.
Did, the minutes were correct,
So-
because even my notes said the
You want to
215.
confirm the amount and
I
do it
got
at
you.
the next meeting?
So I'm not correcting the minutes, I'm correcting the data that was put in the minutes. Is that a good way to put it?
There's no good way to put it.
Oh, okay.
Peter.
I know Peter.
That's funny, Sandy.
Peter doesn't want,
is funny.
yeah. I had that document, I know I did. I found it. Wareham got $151,140.
151?
151,140.
So
The
even.
rest we pay out of, that's our match.
Yeah, we've got warrant
56,000
approval of,
something,
yeah,
Two something.
150, yeah. So
We
that was
asked
our
the rest.
final design of the overflow lagoon at the Wareham Water Pollution Control Facility. So that was the money for our new lagoon, our lining the unlined. I knew it was in here someplace.
Okay. Okay, our next meeting is the 24th of October in this room.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is it time for me to make a motion?
I've been
Yes.
sitting here breathlessly waiting.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, that was unanimous.
Without hesitation.
Aye.
Thank you, ladies
All right.
and gentlemen, for watching. I hope that
I
pushes
need
up our Nielsen
signatures.
ratings.
Come on.